Hi there. Hi, Jen.
Hey,
Hey.
Sandy.
Oh, wow. It's another Sunday. That's so cool. I didn't even open the chat yet. Hey, chat. I'm going to open you up. How are y'all? We have a good show tonight. We're actually talking about Alaska, actually, and just some stuff to give us a sense of what we could lose and the ecological things we could lose, but also the political stuff behind why these events are happening. Why do they want to drill? When did it start? Right, Jennifer?
Money,
So
money,
we
money,
went
money,
through
money.
money. I should have had a money meme. Money. So yeah, everybody's joining us. What's been going on? Anything super interesting?
Oh, with me?
Yeah, with you.
Well, I've been kind of consumed with my work a little bit lately. I got Employee of the Month for my division.
Wow. Oh my God, that's great. Wow. Wait a
I
minute.
know.
I
I
need a
was kind
good
of,
I need a good music clip for that. I didn't even know.
it
Congratulations. No, that's cool. You're still doing it,
was
babe.
fun. Oh, yes. Thank
Yeah.
you very much. Thank you
Yes,
very
yes.
much.
Well, you're out there.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Well, whatever you do, I mean, the world may be crumbling around us, but I
Mm-hmm.
still have for myself a even though I know I
Yeah.
focus on this crap, I've been focusing on this crap for years. And so it's sort of like living in a split reality. And for me, it's important for me to have success in my work and the things I do. And
Well,
even though
hell yeah.
everything's crumbling around me, I still want to, I'm not giving up. I'm not just like, oh, well, the hell with it.
Well, I am, Jen, so
So,
I'll just do that for you. No, I don't think I'm giving up. I mean, I'm still here. Hey, you guys, I'm still here. We're still doing it. And I'm still trying to hone my proficiency in all these little software thingy dingies and bring it to us a little more with a little style and some
yeah.
graphics and
Are you?
I'm gonna
You're
give a
you're
plug.
continually making leaps and bounds, Sandy, and our show is getting
Yeah,
so
but I
much
gotta
more
give some.
teched up, you
Well, I
know.
have to tell you why. I follow Brian Weinstein from Divided We Stand and
Oh yeah.
Head in the Box. Brian starts finding these things, and I learn it from him. He's a good person to know about, if I get stuck, he's good.
Yeah.
He's like he's making really pretty, I mean really graphically pretty videos. And the I asked him what his program was. I mean, this is what I guess I'm interested in right now. It focuses my
Right.
attention on something other than whatever the hell's going on in this crazy world of
Yeah.
this household. And it's great. It's great. It's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so guys, tonight I guess we're going to get started. We have an article. We have articles like usual. We have a path. Jennifer, why don't you explain
Yeah.
where we're going? Where
Want
are
me to
we
take her
going?
away?
Take her
Deep
away.
drill
Boom, boom.
Alaska. We're doing a deep drill down in Alaska, no pun
Yeah.
intended. So we've got a couple of, we're going to get some awareness around Alaska and its animals and the
Okay.
politics. So the first
Yep.
thing we're going to do is actually from alaskawild.org. It's a brief history of the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge
Yeah. Nice
to
place.
understand what it is before we lose it.
Yeah.
um, and the next one is actually an article, just a little brief from the Bureau
Slurp.
of Land Management, and is the coastal plain of the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. So again, we're going to talk about the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge.
Yeah.
And why would we be talking about all these things? Because the next article we have our favorite person that we love to hate
Yeah. We
from
love to hate.
CBS
Yeah, we hate
News.
him.
We hate
Ugh,
him. We
we
hate
hate
him.
him.
We hope he goes away soon.
Yes.
Trump Trump administration moves
Trumpet
forward with sale of oil and gas leases in where? Alaska's Arctic National Wildlife
Alaska.
Refuge.
Yep. And
Yeah.
then
And
we
then
have the animal
we
one.
have we have like
We
two
have a
ones from the
wide.
animals.
Yes. Yes, we have a wide
One from the
variety.
BBC News, and this is the Arctic Wildlife National Wildlife Refuge, the animals at risk from Alaska oil drilling. And then, if we have time, we're going to have a little article from the UN Habitat, top 10 endangered animals in Arctic tundra region. So we are in drill
Yeah.
down,
Oh,
deep drill.
and we have an art show. And oh my
Oh,
God,
yes.
Henry, is it Henry Hudson Photography? Oh my Lord, I'm
Yes,
horrible.
I think
Henry's
so.
photography, I'm going to put the link because I kind of want to do a little thing in the middle between what we are doing and show you some beautiful scenery. And we'll listen to some music while we look at these gorgeous pictures. I love his website. He does like photography teaching stuff, and he went on a
Oh,
trip. So we're gonna take that little trip too and look at his stuff. So all
oh,
right, well we got a lot of people with us. This is awesome. Where would you like to begin? Should we
all
talk
right.
about a brief history?
Absolutely. Would you like me to do the honors or would
I
you
would
like to
like
do
you
the
to do
honors?
the honors. I would love you to do the honors.
Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
So, a brief history of the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. The Arctic National Wildlife Refuge is the largest unit in the National Wildlife Refuge system, comprising 19.6 million acres
Big.
of wild land, including its biological heart, the coastal plain. After
Mm.
decades of legislative protection, the coastal plain was opened up to oil and gas development, part of the Tax Cuts and Job
Whoops.
Act passed in December 2017.
Yeah.
Bad,
Bad.
bad.
Bad. Bad.
Yeah.
Bad. Bad.
Refuge values. More than 250 animal species rely on the Arctic refuge diverse habitats, including wolves, musk oxen, wolverines, and caribou. Numerous species of refuge of
Beautiful
birds rely on
place.
the Arctic refuge during the summer months before migrating to every state in the U.S. across 6 continents. Female polar bears build dens along the coastal plain to give birth to their young and are doing so with greater frequency. Though polar bears prefer to spend the majority of their time on the drifting ice pack of the Arctic Ocean, sea ice is receding due to climate change, making land denning sites in the Arctic refuge increasingly important for polar bears.
Dang. So we get the
Yeah,
drift. We get the drift. This is a beautiful place, and it has a political
yeah.
history. But I don't know. Do you want to finish? Because the political history basically is the
Oh,
oil,
I,
right?
yeah.
Sorry, Jennifer.
Yeah.
I
Well,
can't help
we won't
myself to
be able
find
to
a.
go through this whole thing, but oh, it's 2 pages. I might be able to get through it. What do
All
you
right.
think? Let's give it
I
a
think
thought.
fine. I think
Okay.
fine.
According to Gwinnett oral tradition, the resources of the Arctic refuge have sustained the Gwich'in people for thousands of years. Each spring, porcupine caribou herd migrates approximately 1,400 miles north to its calving areas on the coastal plain to give birth. Then, during the winter, the herd disperses throughout the southern part of the Arctic refuge into Canada. Estimates show that individual caribou may travel more than 3,000 miles over the course of a single year. So they're running
Wow.
all the time. Protecting the calving grounds of the porcupine caribou herd in the Arctic refuge is crucial to protecting the culture of the Gwich'in people and ensuring their food security. Political history. The fight to protect this area began in the early 20th century by a group of visionary conservatives led by Olaus and Margaret Murray, who campaigned to establish the nation's first ecosystem scale conservation area. On December 6, 1960, President Dwight Eisenhower made their vision a reality by establishing the 8.9 million acre Arctic National Wildlife Refuge specifically for its unique wildlife, wilderness, and recreational values. In 1980, President Jimmy Carter continued this legacy by expanding the area, designating much of the land as protected wilderness, and renaming it the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. However, the 1.5 million acre coastal plain, the biological heart of the Arctic Refuge, was left unprotected. Congress and the Trump administration should take steps to secure the strongest protection. You think they're going to do anything?
No.
I want to stop reading right now.
Well, Trump is putting it on full steam ahead, and you know what I read is the leases have to be sold before December 2021. So
really?
There's this slim window now. So perhaps this push is more of a last-ditch pathetic effort, but we have articles that are going to tell us.
Yes, it's a great discovery.
Yeah, it is. Okay, did I take you away from the end?
Nah, it's okay.
As I usually do.
Yeah, it's all good. You saved me.
I saved you. Well, we know because I think
this
everybody's okay. Well, the next one is actually it's going to take us right into the Trumpy one, which we are going to explain, both of us, about this. We're going to go through that together. This one is just basically it shows what it looks like, and I have another beautiful map that shows where we're talking. And believe it or not, Jennifer, I was watching clips of Fox, and it was from 2015, and the report was all about ANWR and how they were chomping at the bit to get the oil companies in there to survey for oil. And I've heard this argument before, that it's a very empty place and people don't go there, and it's just a tiny little swatch of in an infinite wilderness that they want to go and drill and destroy. But it never stays like that. No, it would never be like that. So, yeah, like Violet Hippie, right? What could go wrong? We could think of, why can't I add you to the broadcast? Oh, there you go. What could go wrong? Everything. Yeah. We learned from the Exxon Valdez what could friggin' go wrong.
Oh, absolutely horrendous. And they always kind of just themselves in and insinuate themselves in the least threatening way that they can to avoid any controversy. Oh, we're just going to choose this little bitty boo thing and we're just going to drill there. But it never happens that way anyway.
No,
and then, doesn't. There has to be some spaces on Earth that are still wild, to have that wild, open feeling. There has to be some place like that on Earth. Don't just strip it all away,
Yeah. Yeah, I think we lost some bandwidth here. Hey, I'm looking at it. I don't have like a bandwidth measure machine. Not that much of a geek, but I actually do measure it. Run this, but I'm certainly not going to do that in the middle of a show. All of a sudden, it just seems like these things come in the air and go, okay, we're going to get right in between Sandy and Jennifer's show for a minute, maybe two, and it's going to be like all kinds of weird looking. Then it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
We just
I'm
swing with
telling
it.
you,
They can't throw
yeah.
us off.
No, the technology is hilarious, though. I mean, it's
Yeah.
so never. It's never reliable. None of it, at least. And I'm not complaining about it per se. I'm making light of it. It's a part
Yeah.
of life.
Yeah.
I've accepted the fact that I live in rural America. Rural America. Uh-huh. So what's
Yeah.
going on in the chat? Oh, they're busy chatting away. So anyway, I'm finished pretty much. I'll get it up, and then I think we are going to beeline for Donald Trump, because that's the thing. And I'm going to
Right.
start this one, and Jennifer, we're going to share this one, because I'm
Okay.
sure I'll
Sounds good.
probably editorialize a bit. All right, I think I've got that up on the screen. The Bureau, I have so many windows open, it gets kind of crazy. Uh, I'm moving windows. The Bureau of Land Management announced on Thursday that it plans to sell oil and gas leases in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, a 19.64 million acre area in northeastern Alaska, on January 6th. The timeline of the sale has been accelerated in recent weeks, of course, making it
Yeah.
possible that the sale could be finalized before President elect Joe Biden is inaugurated. Now, doesn't that mean, Jennifer, that I guess I could opinionate here, because doesn't it mean that there'll be court cases over this? Wouldn't it mean that
Oh, yeah.
maybe that the Biden administration would realize that this is an important process, that we really have to not have those kind of jobs, and Alaska's going to have to remake its economy away from those kind of jobs.
Yeah.
And there's more to examine, but anyway, I'll go back. It's an easy one to opinionate. Last month, all right, wait. Okay, the Federal Register will publish a notice of sale on December 7th. Oh my God, that's
That's
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Holy
It's tomorrow.
shit. Come on, Jennifer, let's bid. Um, let's take our $20, which will initiate a 30-day comment period prior to the lease sale date. All right, so we can get on and make comments. We can do public comments if we. I'm going to find the website. Uh, Kim, you might remember this, from the Federal Register. You could find it, and I think I'll put the address up if anybody wants to do that. And say why you don't want it, right? The sale will pave the way for companies to drill along the coastal plain. And that's the problem. And, big problem. Last month, oil companies were given a 30-day window to tell the government what land they would like included in the sale. That window was supposed to end on December 17th, and according to the New York Times, the Bureau would typically then take weeks to review the comments before it decided what land to include in the sale. See now, Jennifer, the rest of the
Mm-hmm.
article now, um, it's going to go into the rushing of it, if you want to take over.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right.
Rush timeline suggests that the Trump administration may be trying to finalize the sale before Biden administration takes power on January 20th.
Creeps.
You think? Mr. Biden has said creeps. Mr. Biden has said he will permanently protect the
This is
refuge. The Bureau of Land Management has had until December
it's
2021
only
to
a
make the
tiny
sale.
little area.
Just a little tiny bit. Don't be
Just a
scared.
tiny little
Which
area
was
on Fox News. Yeah.
uh, which
Mm.
was approved as part of tax legislation in 2017, according to the Times. Quote, oil and gas from the coastal plain is an important resource for meeting our nation's long-term energy demands and will help create jobs and economic opportunities, as they always say, end quote. Bureau of Land Management State Director Chad Paget said in a statement, quote, the
Chad.
law makes Bad Chad.
Chad.
That's what we'll call
Chad.
him, Bad Chad.
Chad.
The
Bad
law
Chad.
makes oil and gas development one of the purposes of the refuge. No, it doesn't. That's bad. Clearly
I
directing the
love this.
secretary acting through the Bureau of Land Management to carry out a competitive leasing program for the potentially energy rich coastal plain. The program,
Don't like it.
we don't, we no like, no like. Yeah. The program could potentially impact 1.6 million acres, that's not tiny, of the coastal
No,
plain,
it's not. They're
accounting for
liars.
8% of the entire refuge. Oh, it's just a little bit.
Uh huh.
Environmental
Liars.
activists and organizations, however, are not convinced for its safety or potential. The coastal plain is home to numerous fish and wildlife species, including polar bears and sea ducks. Oil
Yeah.
drilling has long been criticized for its potential impact on the environment. And last year, Mr. Trump relaxed safety regulations for oil and gas companies. Bad. The Sierra Club blasted the Trump administration for a move that it said could negatively impact wildlife and, quote, ignored the human rights of indigenous people that depend on the land and wildlife in the Arctic refuge for their
Of
food
course it
security
does.
and way of life, end quote. This is a shameful attempt, quote, by Donald Trump to give one last handout to the fossil fuel industry on his way out the door, asshole, at the expense of our public lands and our
Asshole.
climate, quote, said the Sierra Club executive director Michael Byrne. The Trump administration's rushed and sloppy push to sell off the Arctic refuge for drilling has been a disaster from day one and has ignored the serious and permanent damage drilling would do to this unique ecosystem and the communities that depend on it. A record of decision published in August outlines operating procedures and stipulations for companies who may lease the land, which include protections for wildlife. Policy and Action Group Environment America described the move as, quote, an
An
outrage.
outrage.
An outrage. Damn right, it's an outrage.
Damn
Just
right.
a few weeks ago, the group posted a video encouraging oil companies not to lease the area, saying it is too special and too sacred. We have so few sacred things left on earth. Do you really have to kill this one too to risk harming? And then it has a little tweet from Environment America with a very cute looking girl. 6 major
Oh,
US
let's get her
banks.
up there. There she is. But yeah, yeah, there she
She's
is.
very cute, very
She's very cute.
enthusiastic, very American
Yes.
looking. Yeah, there you go. 6 major US
I
banks,
love you,
Goldman
Jennifer.
Sachs, JP Morgan, Chase, Wells Fargo, Citi, Morgan Stanley, and Bank of America. Oh, just
All
like
the big
all of
ones.
them, all
Yeah,
of them
all the big
have
ones.
said
Holy shit.
they will not finance drilling
Wow.
in the Arctic
Then
National
why
Wildlife
bother?
Refuge.
So this is the last. This is that asshole Trump. Maybe this is just a fart in the wind, as Giuliani knows well about.
He's just the worst. Brune said, if any company is foolish enough to place a bid on the area, it will undoubtedly face legal and financial uncertainty and massive public backlash.
Backlash.
Unlike Donald Trump's political career, the fight to protect the Arctic refuge is far from over. And that
Far
is
from
that.
over. Well, let's whoa. Well, isn't that something? I got a little notification 5 minutes after the effect about the stream being lowered, the quality. So I think there's a little troll sitting on my super duper antenna outside.
Oh.
Do I have a troll? Well, Jennifer, let's do the slideshow. It's pretty. All right, guys,
Yeah.
sit back and relax. We have a lovely visual show now. It's unfortunate I got slowed down. It like kind of sucks because the visuals are. I have the gentleman's name in the in the show notes. It's Henry, and they're beautiful. So I'm going to take me and Jen. Let's see, we're gonna take our names away from the screen, and we are going to show you. Get this out. Sorry, guys. I'm doing what I didn't want to do, which is talk out loud when I'm trying to get rid of a screen. Sorry. All right, it's gone, Jennifer. I did it. That's the verbling. Okay, verbling. Is that a word, Jennifer? Verbling? All
No.
right. I didn't think so. Well, it
Not
is
yet.
now. It is
But you
now.
can create it.
Yeah, I
You can
created
create
it.
your own words.
Okay, let's get the music started and let's get the show going. These are beautiful. I want all of you to enjoy it. Hi, Free Bear. Hi, Osama. Okay. This is it. This is the area. Sit back and enjoy. There's Alaska in all its glory. He's amazing photographer. Whoop, wrong one. That's the tundra. Those are babies, very often found on the ground. And then they come and they ruin it. And here they come. Yep, it's inevitable. They're going to get through the mush. I hope you enjoyed that. Yep.
It's very moving, because once those sacred spaces are gone,
Yeah.
you can't reverse it. You can't get it
No.
the vibe
No.
is shattered.
No. No. And it's just sad, you look at the pictures and you know that the dominant culture, as they call it. And what does Derek Jensen call it? Is that what he calls it, the dominant culture? Well,
Yeah, he always says,
what
"I hate this fucking culture." That's kind of like his main
Woo.
quote.
Well, I won't go. Well, I'm not commenting myself right now. I just was saying the dominant culture. Well, it's crazy. It's crazy. And now, guys, we're gonna segue to the animals and just TCR Galaxy should have stayed in the forest. All right, Jen, we have now another I'll pull it up, and then we've got the the risk, and it shows the animal risk. This is a nice one. Let me get it up for both of us and find you. Something changed on my screen. I'm sorry, guys. It's just difficult to navigate for some reason. All right, get little you and pull up this. Can y'all see it? Yeah. Okay. It is the here, I'll get it. Jen, you want to go for it? This is the
Sure.
animal. We'll do it together. Okay.
Sure.
You're
Yeah,
up.
okay. The Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, the animals are at risk from Alaska oil drilling. Oh, cute little polar bear. Polar bears are partially at risk of dying in oil spills. So sad. But he's so cute. Look at him. Okay, here we go, guys. The US
Yep.
government is pushing forward with controversial plans to allow drilling in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge by laying out the terms of a leasing program that would give oil companies access to the area. The wildlife refuge is in northeastern Alaska, sits above billions of barrels of oil. However,
Yes,
it
it
is
does.
also home to many animals, including reindeer, polar bears, and different species of bird. The idea of drilling in the area did not originate with President Donald Trump and his administration. Rather, the leasing program is just the latest step in a controversy that has been ongoing since the late 70s. One side of the argument is that drilling for oil could bring in significant amounts
Mm-hmm.
of money while
Of
providing
course.
jobs for people in Alaska.
Yes.
They always say
That's the
that. Others,
yes.
however, are fearful of the impact drilling would have on the many animals that live there, as well as the damage burning more fossil fuels would have on our rapidly warming planet.
Mm-hmm.
This push from the Trump administration comes just 2 months after the Arctic Circle recorded its highest ever temperatures. Yahoo, Mountain Dew.
Yahoo.
There we go.
Mm. Here we are.
This plan could this plan could devastate the amazing array of wildlife that call the refuge home through noise pollution, habitat destruction, oil spills, and more climate chaos. Kristen Monsell from the US based Center for Biological Diversity told the BBC. The coastal plain is the most important land based denning habitat for polar bears and is the birthing ground of the porcupine caribou herd, which we've
Yeah.
heard about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Over 200 species of bird are found in the refuge, along with Arctic foxes, black and brown bears, moose, and many others. Any oil spills, for example, would not only harm nearby wildlife and their habitat, they could be fatal. And here you see the beautiful picture that we have behind us today, which is just
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful palette of so many colors.
Yes. Yes. That
Polar
was
bears,
Getty Images.
is it beautiful? Just
Mm-hmm.
gorgeous. I love it, actually. Polar bears, Ms. Monsell adds, are particularly vulnerable to oil spills. And can you imagine if oil gets in their beautiful coat?
Beautiful.
Bears
No,
must
I don't want to
maintain a
imagine.
pristine hair coat as insulation against the cold. I know. But when but when a polar bear comes into contact with spilled oil, it can soak into a polar bear's fur and persist for several weeks. It will be groomed and ingested, irritate the skin, and destroy the insulating abilities of the fur. Studies show that
Jesus.
fatalities can occur from effects on the lungs, kidneys, blood, gastrointestinal tract, and other organs and systems. An oil coated bear that is not cleaned and rehabilitated, will probably die. That's a beautiful picture of those polar bears.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oil industry bosses insist they have a well established record of environmentally responsible development of Alaska energy resources. But environmentalists say the US government has not adequately considered the risks to wildlife and local communities. Meanwhile, polar bears are far from the only animals who rely on this large stretch of wilderness. The refuge is home to more than 200 types of bird.
Wow.
Professor Natalie Bowman, an environmental scientist from Columbia
Columbia.
University, described it as a huge nursery for avian species. If you
Ooh.
go there in the spring, it's crazy.
Oh.
Every little puddle, even if it's just half a meter, you can barely see the water. It's covered in ducks and geese, she tells the BBC. She is part she is particularly concerned about the impact sound leveling from any drilling would have on the animals in the refuge. That's noise
Oh.
pollution,
Yeah.
as well as the indigenous communities that live nearby. With industrial activity comes a great deal of sound from airplane noise, helicopter noise, truck noise, seismic
Yeah.
activity. Yeah. There's been very little scientific study to show how this impacts the many different animals that are up there, but it's a lot of anecdotal evidence, sounds like, are associated with
Oh
any
my God.
anthropogenic activity really bothers them. This anecdotal evidence, she adds, comes from the native Alaskan communities that live near the refuge. Subsistence hunters who are really dependent on both caribou and waterfowl to sustain themselves and their families. They have been really hard time hunting when there's air traffic. They report
Hmm.
having just to give up hunting a specific animal as soon as a helicopter or
Oh.
airplane goes by because it just
Oh.
wakes the animal up. And that's a huge loss
There's a
for
lot
them.
of flying up there now. Can you imagine
Yeah.
in that, flying all over Alaska, wild Alaska?
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
this is flying up with bigger planes and dropping off the big equipment and all of that goes with this shit. Planet eaters,
Yeah.
Jennifer.
I know. I hate them.
Jim's with us, by the way. Jim lives in Alaska. Hi, Jim.
Oh, hi,
Do you
Jim.
approve? Are we doing a good job, Jim? All right, where are we, Jennifer?
So we know it has an impact on the behavior of the
Yeah,
animals and
there we
also
go.
that it has an effect on the subsistence of
Ah,
communities. But also, what does that noise do to an animal's stress levels?
oh,
What does it do to their reproductive success? And there's a
they
beautiful
go
caribou.
extinct. They go extinct.
Yeah. Conservationists also fear for the porcupine caribou, a breed of North
This guy.
American reindeer that roams the Arctic National
Look
Wildlife
at them.
Refuge.
They're
The
majestic. And they
coast,
feed
yeah,
people. Hmm.
the coast where proposed drilling would take place, should it go ahead, is particularly important to them. Maggie Howell, executive director of the Wolf Conservation Center, tells the BBC that coastal plain is the calving route for caribou. And the caribou also has one of the most impressive migrations of any land mammal,
Oh
period.
boy.
Yeah. The herd travels north to the
Hmm.
coastal plain every year, about 400 miles each way. And that's where babies. Any drilling is
Hmm.
going to impact their lives drastically, as well as all the other animals and people who depend on the caribou. One animal that predates the caribou and would therefore be at risk is the Alaskan tundra wolf. Ms. Howell says her
Wow.
team has
A
already
lot of
seen
animals.
the damage done by drilling in other areas with caribou and wolf populations, since, such as Alberta in Canada.
When
Quote,
does it
as
stop?
doesn't. That's the problem.
Oh,
As a
God.
refuge, it's there to be preserved, Ms. Howell says. It's not only a safe haven for the wildlife, but is also a symbol of our communities, our country's national heritage. And if these animals can't be safe in a wildlife refuge, where can they be? Where can they just be left alone to live their lives and fulfill their own purposes?
Oh, gosh. Well, that's it. It's just gonna be if it happens. I mean, the political wins. This again could be just not. It could be just media. It could be the response to Trump flexing his whatever he thinks he has left as a leader, and this maybe it's a moot point, especially if the banks aren't going to lend. So
Yeah, maybe the deal won't go through.
yeah, and then if there is a deal or an offer, it'll be in court, I'm sure. We'll see. But anyway, hi chat. We have been 41 minutes. We're doing good. We have, let's see. Jim says it's all political. The politicals, yeah, they push the oil companies. Are not all that interested unless they are given shitloads of subsidy, which oil companies are given. Yeah, thank you for that, Jim. It is. It's so crazy, the politics behind it, and uh the the way it started in that state, and the how I thought it was interesting because Lisa Murkowski is the senator, and her
Right.
father had been, was he the governor? And well,
Oh,
he named her to whatever, and then she ran and won, and she actually ran once as a write-in candidate. she
oh, really?
she won, yeah, like the only write-in candidate. But Lisa Murkowski is a capitalist who is going to sell to the highest bidder if they can. And there's a few ways to think about it. The propaganda on the right that says it's just a tiny little area, and the people that, oh, Jennifer, they use, okay,
Mm.
everybody in Alaska gets, and Jim could probably tell you this, they get from the oil companies. And hey, Vegematic. Vegematic just got back from Walmart, Allie says. The oil companies pay, everyone gets a dividend from the government. And in 2019, I think it was $1,600 per person that
Wow.
established their residency as an Alaskan, living there. They get the stipend from the existing drilling which goes on, which already has. There's no need to keep going. I don't think. Well, of course we don't think. We're talking about it, but but this year it's going down to $900. There was a
Haha.
lot less. Well, we had a pandemic. The interest in oil prices went down, and so now, is it so? Do they think they're going to bring it back, resurrect it? ANWR is a waste. If they're not, if the oil is not getting used, that's already drilled. Just, it's crazy. I'm not
Yeah.
obviously an economics specialist or in any of this at all. Thank you for letting me take a sip, but it's interesting. Anyway, well, what did you? Jim says, yeah, but the government is now taking 2/3 of the PFD, so people are getting screwed. Really? So there's a lot going on up there. So then but you know what happens? Then the people. Oh Lord, it's a feedback loop of shit up there with that. Then, really, basically, did we have another article? I think we had one more, but I'm not. This is really, really long. I'm going to close out. It's called "Impacts of Oil Drilling in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge," and if you guys get a chance to look at it, It's in the show notes. It's a in depth, and sometimes taking a deep dive is cool, but I think right now we've done pretty good, Jen.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed the show. I'm squirming around a little bit.
Are
So
ya?
where are you at as far as you're feeling with this whole thing?
Well, we do have one more that you had sent over from the UN Habitat, and it's called Top 10 Endangered Animals in the Arctic Tundra Region.
Oh, that's the one. Why don't I have that? Okay, let me find it. It's not here. Damn it. You want to send it to me? It has a lot of good pictures.
Yeah, sure.
All right, send it on over. Well, everybody, we are going to find you some more really nice pictures. But it was an article that was good.
There you go.
I
It's
just
there.
have to open my. Okay. I have to open something. I know. I just wasn't expecting to. Okay, here we go. We're going to get it. I have a 13-inch screen. It's hard to manage at times. Okay. In the meantime, I should have played some music, right? Mood music. All right,
It's
Jen,
all
I
good,
got it.
Sandy.
I got it. I think I got it. All right. Yeah, here it is. UN Habitat. Let me fix up the screen. We'll pull it up. And, oh, yeah. You all see this one? It's nice. Endangered animals. Yes, this was a good one. Top 10. How could I forget this one? This was a great one. Okay, let me start this one out. I'm going to move the screens around. The Arctic Circle is one of the chilliest regions to be found on Earth. Most of us probably can't imagine living in one of these regions, right? Nor even taking a visit there. However, there are many animal species that have made the tundra region home. They thrive in the rugged boreal forests and scavenge for food in the frozen desert, much like the real desert animals. However, the effects of climate change and human interference have been enormous in the region. Many animal species have lost places they once called home. And there's 10. The Arctic fox. See the Arctic fox? That's one of the
He's
most
cute.
endearing guys. Yeah.
Oh, just
I'm not going to
darling.
read them all. I'm going to go through just the
I think
line.
just show the pictures is good.
Yeah,
People
it
know what these
is.
are.
We know the polar bears, but it's just you think about it and you feel like even though I know I'm never going to go and see them, but I could live vicariously through others who have. The prairie pigeon, the Eskimo curlew, and that one's been on the endangered species list already. So then the Arctic peregrine falcon. Now wow.
Wow.
Wow, wow, wow. Look at that
Elegant.
falcon. Look at that.
Wow.
But they eat contaminated prey. Oh. And so, oh my God, DDT started it.
Yeah.
So is it
Yeah.
still, are they still getting that? Where are they getting?
No, because
That's
DDT
banned.
was outlawed.
Oh
It was
boy.
banned
So
a
after
long
the
time
ban of
ago.
DDT, their population's been increasing. Well, that's
Yeah.
a positive on the end of
Because
that one.
DDT made the shells very thin. They couldn't,
Mm-hmm.
none of the animals could make good shells for
Oh,
their
I remember
eggs. That's
that.
why they started. Yeah.
I remember that, Jennifer. Oh yeah. You know what? I should have turned off our names. Okay. So what's number 5? The wood bison. The wood bison.
Ooh, what a
Oh, wow.
creature.
Can you
Look at
imagine?
him.
Yeah. They I think they've been in Alaska, but bison has been in North America and in the United States. Buffalo,
Mhm.
bison, and of course the good old caribou. This is an endangered species due
Look
to
at
increased threats.
The
The rack
horns
on
on
that
that,
guy.
the
Yeah.
antlers. Look at the antlers
Yeah,
on that.
poaching. People do this and they won't eat it. Not the indigenous people that live that way. They hunt and they're not going to get a permit to bring the rack. They're feeding their families. There are, that's the way of living up there, and I'm sure Jim could tell you about that too. There it's not all everybody. They're still hunting for their families. Caribou, we did narwhal. Okay,
Yeah,
just yep.
the
The
unicorns of the sea.
Oh yeah, the narwhal. Just like the other
Yes.
marine animals, these guys are they're feared to be declining. Well, who isn't anymore? I'm declining. It's just that the animals are declining friggin' faster than previously expected.
Uh-huh.
The muskox, that one I was reading about today, and
Yeah.
the beluga whale.
Oh, look
Aww.
how beautiful they are.
Yeah, but the waters are cesspool full of plastic, even with the
Oh.
shit that's going on and the warming and everything else. Oh, but even the fossil fuel activities, there'll be something. Something will screw up. Some other Exxon Valdez. It's like the same thing, like the argument with the nuclear people that are for nuclear, and I'm not going to say exactly an opinion at this moment. I'm just going to say that they'll argue that there'll never be a mistake, and that always
Mhm.
happens. Mistakes happen, but there's always a cost benefit. For me, Anwar, no, there's no benefit. The Pacific walrus. Look at
Hmm.
that guy. Look at the guy's his
Hmm.
yeah. And
Hmm.
all right, well, I think that's it for that one. We
Yeah.
did well. And Jennifer, I'm good. I'm happy.
Yeah.
How's everybody out there? I'm actually can't well, we're at 52 minutes. Well, guys, how are you doing out
Yeah.
there? Yeah, Jim said plastics exactly what that's a major problem. Yep. Everything. Mm. Well, listen, I'll tell you what, Jennifer. Why don't we wrap
Yeah.
it up and let me find
I think so. I think
the
we're
music.
complete.
And I learned a lot by this today, the research. You know, always try to take yourself out of yourself and your surroundings and learning about other places. That's why people traveled, but now we can't travel. Not really, can we? And I'm limited to
Not
travel,
really.
so I could travel around the world just reading about the world. Definitely. Hi, Groot. All right, I'm going to find the good night video. Thank you for coming, everyone. And see you. What does it see in the funny papers? Is that 90s? Yeah,
It's been
right.
a great show, Sandy. Thanks so
Yeah.
much. I really enjoyed this deep dive into Alaska.
Yeah. I think if anything ever happens, let's go to Alaska together.
Okay.
If we can fly, and we'll just have to say, well, we'll have to say, Jennifer, if we didn't buy that ticket, somebody else's ass would be parked in that seat. That one, that one. It's
Uh-huh.
a rationale for doing something. Uh, hey, yeah, Rich, I am mellow. I'm very tired. Thank you all for coming, guys. Jennifer, I love you. It was
Love
fun.
you too.
Mwah. Bye,
Lots
guys.
of fun.
Bye
Bye bye,
bye.
guys.
Alrighty.